LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
Brakes will be glowing red hot here tonight at Long Beach. Welcome back, everybody, here to SimTraX Broadcast. This is Patrick Morrison coming to you live here with the Bandit Racing League. We are here at Long Beach, 1.9-mile track, tons of turns. Guys racing here on the street in the next-gen cars, and things are going to be a little bit tricky here tonight and even more difficult for the drivers. What we're going to be taking a look at here currently is some of our qualifying times from our drivers out there. Zach Michaelis out there knocking down the number 2 spot. Oddly enough, Joshua McQuiggan doing a heck of a job out there. He actually knocked down a 1:22.26 out there. Super fast. You'll see him there in the number 19 Ford. We'll see if he can hang in there for amount of laps. We took a little quick peek as well at the number 2 car, Nick Nickerson. Yes, he has returned. And I'm wondering if he's having a little trouble out there with that race car. Right now, he has knocked down at least 1 lap here tonight and no time. So I think he's a little bit nervous of how his race may start. He may be from the back of the field. He was looking faster in practice, but has been unable to recover and get back to it here. Right now, a couple of other guys we do want to look at is Matt Crockett, the Liquid Death Machine. Currently, he's holding a 9th place start. I'm showing over 20 drivers ready to go here for this race as we get qualifying halfway complete here. About 5 minutes in here of the 10-minute qualifier. These laps are taking about 1 minute and 22 seconds, around 1.5 minutes for these guys to complete them here. So they definitely want to make sure they have plenty of time to get out there and get some on the track to themselves, and we'll see how all these guys will fare for that. Marshall Crocker, Jr., that is. Right now, he knocks down a third-place start on his second lap. Great job. Another driver, Mason Flagar, only ran one lap. He'll be starting in fourth. All right, joining alongside me tonight is let's go ahead and reel him in now. Jackson Knock. No chance at this track. A lot of guys a little nervous about some road course racing out here. If you haven't been to this track, kind of what is the overall consensus when you do head to a road track, and what are things you probably shouldn't forget?
Yeah, so obviously you got to remember that this track is going to be super bumpy, especially the next-gen car. Going to have to be very light on the throttle, out of the corners. Make sure you're not locking up the brakes on entry. These like to do that too, especially over the bumps. But, any street course, try not to hit the inside wall. You got to remember there's almost no runoff space. So in the Bandit Racing League on a road course, we only throw a caution when the entire track is blocked. Now, I'm not sure if we've ever ran a street course before. Not that I have in the Bandit Racing League, maybe way before I was here. But most of the time in a Bandit Racing League road course race, there are no cautions. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple today. Obviously, walls on either side of the track, so pretty much no escape if the track gets blocked. So the possibility of cautions. Another thing to add to the chaos is I do believe, I'm not sure if that has been resolved. I'm guessing it has not. Last night, they were talking about how iRacing, for some reason, I don't know if accidentally or purposely, but deleted the Long Beach setup. Long Beach was already on the schedule, so they weren't going to get rid of it. So currently, I'm pretty sure the drivers are running the Chicago street course setup. So obviously, very similar setups, but still not 100% perfect and meant for this track. So definitely going to see some even more possibly issues out there today.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we're not going to see any overheat issues as we see right now. Kevin Foster getting around that hairpin right turn. Now I have a feeling 90% of our problems are going to come from today. But the overheat problems is what I'm looking at. Is currently look at Kevin Foster having a huge top speed run here, and that's the beautiful part here about Long Beach. Unfortunately, if they are at the Chicago street, which it is a lot more turns, no real runway at that track, is that going to be an issue when these guys start drafting or trying to follow each other down that long straightaway? That'll be we'll have to kind of keep an eye out for that. Next gens continue to shrink that grill out there to get as much speed as possible. They've kind of eliminated the tape design where you had to add or subtract tape to see if you can make any sort of a difference out there. I know if you guys tune in here later on through the week, the Gen 4 cars, that got an entirely new full overhaul upgrade as well. So, and I believe some extra things changed here to the next gen cars. I think there was a suspension and a force feedback update, as I think Kevin Foster's testing it out now. Ouch.
Yeah, pretty much just about everything to make it difficult for these drivers today is in place. So definitely going to be an exciting one to watch. I don't know if I'd want to be on track for this one. Nah, just kidding. I definitely would. I'd love to be on track for this race at least. This would be fun. Anyone's race, I think.
Yep. I'm taking a look here at Eddie Hagee. It looks like he almost got lost there. That was the hairpin right turn. I think he was getting ready for a left, maybe. But maybe
Google
Eddie
Maps
Hagee
was telling him the wrong way.
Yeah. Boy. All right. Well, Long Beach gets a little bit tricky. We'll see how they hang in there. Look at that. Eddie Hagee, poof. And 5 seconds to go ahead and finish another lap, and that was not going to happen. So finally, qualifying does complete here. They are already getting to the drivers' meeting, and they'll be getting underway. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek here what our race is going to consist of, and we'll give you the best that we got here. Long Beach is where we are at, 101 degrees down there on the track. I believe we are running for 50 laps here tonight. Our first stage will be stopping us at lap number 18. Moving on to a 70% fuel limit here. They do subtract a set of tires, though. A lot of road course drivers, you will notice, do not end up changing tires. We'll see if that continues here in the Bandit Racing League and if everybody else follows suit. Fortunately, they will have one faster pair. I don't know if speeds will be fast enough to total these cars out. I got a feeling we're going to have a lot of guys with bumps and bruises out there trying to hang in. Not bad humidity for Long Beach, only 25%. 75 degrees out there in the air, and I can't wait to see these guys get going here. Right now, the warm-up is still continuing. Driver's meeting, Jackson, when you get in the driver's meeting before a race like this, do you get real nervous? Like, do guys start poking around, say there's going to be problems out there on the track? There are going to be questions involved. I mean, what exactly happens down there?
First of all, let's talk about, I never really paid attention in school very well. ADHD, couldn't really. So, driver's meeting, Instagram right at my hand. I usually start scrolling. But usually, no one really had any issues in the driver's meeting. Obviously, everyone knows today's going to be a difficult race. Everyone needs to give each other room. Kevin Foster's probably up there talking about everyone, hey, especially on the start, give each other room. But it's usually pretty close to the same speech no matter what track we go to. But usually no one really speaks up or has any issues, and it's more just a nice conversation. But obviously at a track like this, it's going to be a little bit more intense of a conversation, but shouldn't be too bad.
Okay. Well, I was mostly concerned, if they go up there and they're, hey guys, remember there are rights on this track as well. Here's what we expect. Keep an eye out for this part. If there's a wreck, go ahead and call it out, and and try to help steer these guys in the right direction of what they should and shouldn't do out there. Because RC has a lot of area he has to cover here, and try to figure out where in the world everybody is. And really, I gotta, we gotta kind of tip our hat to that guy, because he is doing something I don't think anybody else is really concerned or excited to do. I say you have to be crazy if you want to come out to a place like this and then volunteer. That's probably the most insane thing I've ever heard, but but a 1.9 mile track is difficult to be everywhere. You can't just be squared away in one single spot out there. So a lot of guys are going to need communication back and forth with one another, and try to communicate if there is a wreck or something like that going on out there, to definitely relay that to RC to find out if it's caution worthy or not. So we'll see these guys get going here in just a moment. We're going to try to make sure we are ready to go here on our end. I'm noticing some of the drivers are considering firing up the engines and putting down another lap here. I haven't seen them complete or get ready. I see them in the cars, but I think they're just radioed up currently. Any other questions out there in the chat? Right now I do see Margot Goose and Devin out there rooting on Brett Guzik. He will be out here tonight. He's had a stroke of bad luck here as of recently. Right now Guzik would like to see if he can undo what he did last race, a little bump and run there with Mark Allen Bivens. The two of them almost got into about 3 or 4 times that race, and I just think Bivens and Guzik got the worst of it. I can't really put my finger on who was, Jackson, I don't know. You can't go, oh, yep, it was that guy, and then just kind of say his race was ruined. To me, it was a conjoined effort.
Yeah, definitely a little bit from both parties, but just a lot of issues, possibly some mistakes. But those two just seem to be the heads that kept colliding. Was those two. But, Brett Guzik, usually pretty good on road courses, able to finish in the top 5 just about every time. Not quite sure where he qualified, but even if he's in the back, he should be able to make his way up towards the front as long as he does not get involved with any other drivers.
Well, that's so hard to do when the parts of this track are only 2 to 3 cars wide.
That is true.
Yeah, we joke about that when we find them over at Talladega, saying there's plenty of room, but not here. You got guys trying to squeeze and make that right-hand turn, and this isn't a center drive Indy car. I mean, we're still left-hand side drive of the car, and we're scrambling trying to figure out how to get them to turn, and it's just so much more weight compared to what you see IndyCar wise. So a lot of guys about to get a lesson here tonight. I don't know if everything
rude
will
awakening.
work out for them.
Yeah, I feel like around that hairpin, I'm going to guess that they are almost full crank on the wheel, all the way as far as it goes just to get around that corner. So if there's any bit of contact on entry to where the car goes out a little bit farther than what they need it to be, I'm going to guess we're going to see a lot of cars in that tire barrier, even if they're going really slow, just because the car cannot make it around. This car does not like to turn too far, and big heavy stock cars are on that tiny little, IndyCar hairpin, definitely going to cause some issues. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to watch this. I think we're going to have a great time.
Yep, I hope so. It's going to definitely be a head scratcher, and for some things we're going to see out there, and I think we're going to learn a little bit about racing here in the booth as well, with just what guys are able to and not to do out there. They're going to be kind of pushing and shoving, and not a whole lot of room is going to be given, but we'll hold our breath and see if these guys can do what they say they're going to do and definitely keep it as clean as absolutely possible. I don't think anybody out here is willing to make friends, but they're going to give it a shot, and hopefully we will see them do their best out here tonight. All right, gridding should be going now. I believe the formation lap has begun. So this will give us an opportunity to go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight. So maybe we'll have an opportunity to see how these guys run out here. Let's go ahead and get kicked off here with the LAT Racing starting lineup. Moving on to Josh McQuiggan and Zach McKay. That's right now in row number 1. Marshall Crocker sits third. Mason Flagar on the outside of row number 2. Moving on in the 94 car, Ethan Sikorsky, Crunchyroll it is, starting 5th, next to Mark Allen Bivens from Young Guns. Moving on to David Lakey in the 84, been doing very well out there. Without the blinking, he'll be on the inside of Nolan Gross. Moving on to the final of our top 10, Connor Gibson starts 9th, and Brett Guzik is in 10th. Moving on to Peter Murphy and Matt Crockett. That's 12 drivers, and we've still got a boatload more.
Yeah, Kevin Foster in 13th, Brandon Jackson in 14th. Whoa, are we green already? Oh, we are green already. Green flag is out. The entire field's very separated off that start. Green flag pretty much waved in the final corner of that hairpin. So everyone very spread out already. Kind of probably good as we head through that first corner heading our way. Oh, Terry Connis goes around. Another car behind him goes into the outside wall. I'm pretty sure that was Bill Harkins. Not entirely sure. Yes, it was Bill Harkins' blown engine already.
Dude, didn't even make it a quarter of a lap here and nails the wall, blows the engine on the car. Hopefully we'll go back and be able to take a peek at it here. So we had Kevin Foster starting in 13th. Moving on through, that should have given us somewhere around. Currently, we are running with Austin McGill, Nick Nickerson, John Osborne, Pedro Leon, Brandon Jackson, Terry Condis, Ricky Hart, Eddie Hagee, Victor Weaver, and Michael Ramos. Looks like Sean Britt was unable to get
Ethan Sikorsky went around.
Sikorsky's now looped.
From 5th to just about last. I was still going to be ahead of Bill Harkins. That's about it.
Dude, that's the thing, is in the blink of an eye, you see these guys looping around. That's the hairpin right turn. You see Guzik almost trying to square the turn off. Almost straight back around straight again. We'll see if these guys can hold on. And around the Brandon Jackson area, they're looking pretty tough. Austin McGill, can't forget him out there, I believe, in that white-purple car. We'll see how he does. Now they're getting up to some speed, right, touching almost 153 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden squealing to a stop here at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. A lot of guys having to squeeze into one tiny area here, and I would say, yes, this is a lot easier in the Indy cars, seeing that your top 10 are already separated by 8.7 seconds.
Yeah, lots of separation already as we see Kevin Foster to the outside wall. It's going to allow the 10 car to get around him. Oh, Nick locks it up under braking. He's going to be able to keep it under control. Did not get into the 10 car in front of him.
We'll see if we can get a little bit closer here. There we are. The Michelin Chopper view. We're going to kind of chase along top here with Austin McGill. You wouldn't believe how many positions this guy's moved. He has shifted all the way up 12 positions to sit in 11th. Not bad.
Kevin Foster goes around. Collects the 72. Mason Flagar, I believe.
That should be our Bucky's machine, isn't it?
Not sure.
I think let's see here, see if I can get. Yep.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Get a little bit damage on that front end.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt later. Guys will be spinning out. We'll kind of run you. Wow.
Oh, it might hurt now.
Wow. And I think Brandon Jackson has suffered. Yep. Oh,
there goes Ethan Sikorsky again.
What a Ethan Sikorsky saving it. Wow, that was close.
And he's going to get out in front of Brandon. Ethan Sikorsky's gone around probably about 2 times now and has no damage on that car still. Brandon Jackson in the plants. Gardner's not going to be happy.
All right, Josh McQuiggan looks like he might have fumbled out there. He was out in front by about a quarter of a second. Michaelis and Crocker have passed him. Looks like a little
Crocker
here.
Yeah, Crocker's got a lot of damage on that front end. He just slammed the wall. McQuiggan's going to be back on his bumper, trying to cross him over. Out of the corner, he gets sideways with a bump from Mark Allen Bivens. Marshall Crocker goes down pit road. It's got too much damage, wants to fix it. Michaelis getting away. Mark Allen Bivens now on the bumper of Joshua McQuiggan, heading into turn number 1. Will he be able to get him out of the braking zone? He looks inside. Will he fake it? Yes, he will. Gets right back behind Joshua McQuiggan. Joshua McQuiggan went a little bit over that pit lane exit line. I'm not sure if that's going to be a penalty for him. Uh-oh, Ricky Hart Jr. stalled.
He's revving, but nothing's happening.
Possibly some sort of mechanical issue with the transmission to trans axle, I should say.
Victor Weaver is now in pit road. Try to see if we can keep up with everybody out here. They're starting to spread apart pretty good now. Wow. All right, let's check that back in on Nolan Gross. He's the last person in our top 5.
Looking to get around Brett Guzik. He's going to change up his corners just a little bit to try to get to his inside off exit. He uses the bumper, not going to be able to do it that time by Connor Gibson. Gives it too much gas on the corner. He's going to lose about 3 positions, maybe just 2, maybe just 1. No, it'll be 2.
Drops down to the 8th position. Reach up and touch him is going to be David Lakey. Lakey off by about 2 seconds behind him, but Nickerson starting to pick up the pace here a little bit. Nickerson has actually run the fastest lap here of tonight, if I'm looking at my timing right. The only driver to touch the 122 mark. Everybody else is about a second slower than Nick Nickerson. I believe Matt Crockett's in some trouble. Yep, he missed the turn. Lord. A lot of things happening up here. Josh McQuiggan sitting second.
They're having fun out there. Josh McQuiggan still has a pretty good lead, making that lead even larger every lap, about approaching 3 seconds ahead of Josh McQuiggan, and just keeps on getting more and more time. Nothing McQuiggan can do.
Yeah, a lot of places these guys are trying to find a soft spot so they can find and pass somebody here as they shoot underneath the Firestone Bridge. Taking a look with McQuiggan currently sitting number 2, and here's the hairpin turn to the right. Moved through there like a caterpillar. Looked like everybody got through it that time. No problem.
Fun to
Keep
watch.
on going. Yeah, that was a good angle, man. I like how we were able to look down on them and able to see them kind of snake around the edge of that turn and be able to come out on top. Brandon Jackson, I think, is in some trouble. The 99. Let me see if I can find him. Uh-oh. Yep, pit road for the 99. Wow.
Car looks fine, but obviously looks can be deceiving, especially on iRacing. Oh, Mark Allen Bivens almost goes around off the curb. He's going to be able to save it now side by side with Brett Guzik. These two can't seem to stay away from each other. Stay clean down the straightaway. Heading into the large left-hander. Brett Guzik is going to get him under the braking zone. Another car looks to Mark Allen Bivens inside. It was McGill. Now side by side between them. Nick Nickerson got around Nolan Gross. Now looking towards Mark Allen Bivens.
What you said, buddy. Boy, look at this. Austin McGill is trying to set up Brett Guzik here. Might get the upper hand. He'll start to the outside of the right hairpin turn. That's going to be tight. So not only is he getting right there, ooh, Nolan Gross to the side of Nick. But it did look like Austin McGill was going to have an opportunity to get him there, and then no dice. Terry Condis locks him up. We catch him right at the end. Normally, the sponsor lets you know about the end as well. God, he's still running that thing. Oh! Just in time.
Mark Allen Bivens, Brett Guzik, Nolan Gross, all almost around in the same corner. Nolan did go around. Brett Guzik with bad damage to that front right wheel. He went in the outside wall, can no longer steer.
Yep, right front wheel's locked up here.
Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens and Brett Guzik finding each other. I don't believe that they caused the incident. They were both separate incidents that just happened to bonk off each other later. There he goes, Brett Guzik in the outside tire wall.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the engine. Oh my gosh. This is... I'm reading out there in the chat, even Stella's saying this is absolutely crazy to watch. You can't tell who's coming or going. Yeah, and even Robin Allen is asking in the pits for a long time. Yeah, right now I show Victor Weaver back on lap number 4. Had crashed. And we may start cycling through a few of them here. Let's take a look. This is Bill Harkins, I believe, on the first lap. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Let me see. Here he is. And the car just, boom, straightens out. That thing didn't even want to turn. Then we got back to Ethan Sikorsky's first spin. I'll just hop the curb. Yep. Round he goes. Ethan Sikorsky spin number 2. I know he's going to hate me for doing this.
Oh man, Ethan. Oh, they were 3 wide there on the other straightaway.
I think Ricky Hart, this is where he totals the car.
Bam. Oh, yeah, so something broken in the left rear. Possibly broke the transaxle.
Yep.
Just wouldn't go nowhere.
All right, here's, I think, what does in Brett Guzik here.
Completely. Oh, no, he was already broken before that. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's the corner where... You're right.
Maybe we can find... Brett Guzik. Okay, he's still broken here. He's trying to go back far enough to find where Brett Guzik's right front wheel locks up here. I think...
Right there.
Yep, and that should have done him in. Yep. I think that's where he realizes the right front's broken. Very impressive to still be able to race with the wheel locked up.
Well, for another 3 corners.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alright, Margot's seeing it. So Victor ended up in some trouble. I guess we'll take a look and we'll see what happened to Victor here. Let's see.
See what had happened.
Start. Yeah, looks like he might have just thrown in the towel here.
Oh, some issues before that.
I was looking to see if he had any damage.
Believe it did. To the left front.
Alright, let's see if we can find... Oof.
Yeah,
There's
I think
a
he already
shot to
has
the wall
damage here. Already has damage there.
Wow. When the heck does that happen?
My guess is the corner right before this. Yeah, full speed here.
Barn's still in one piece. Yeah, we got the drone footage.
Not great footage.
Come on.
Brakes too late. Bam! Outside wall.
The
Here's
exact
Ricky Hart
same spot
Jr..
Ricky Hart hit.
Yep.
What? You know, Jackson, looking at this, I think we are hitting our 1/5 part of this race, and I've lost half my field.
Yeah. Just about.
Yeah, I think I've only got 18 drivers still mobile. Britt didn't take the wheel. Jackson took it to the garage. Victor Weaver to the garage. Terry Condis just took it to the garage. Bill Harkins, fast repair, he's back out. Ricky Hart, fast repair, he made it back out. And Pedro Leon is now in pit. Oh boy. So I think lap 10 just took him out. Look at that bumper. I think Pedro's slowly crying inside. See if we can find out what happened here.
Oh, same place that got Brett Guzik and Mark Allen Bivens not too long before.
I wonder what's going on. Are the brakes overheating or... Brakes at the stoplight.
We'll see the brakes. They either don't brake or they lock up. There's no real in between with this car.
Good Lord. I see why you hate them. I'm just trying to figure out, see why. Look at the brakes. Yellow. Ugh. He's just got nothing left of it. And that's the fender. Yep, there goes the toe link. Oh boy. Alright, so Pedro Leon is our last victim here at the track.
Well, you know what? His brakes are probably cooled down now.
Yeah, if they haven't welded themselves to the brake pads. Right now, I think Michaelis is our guy here in the lead, out in front by 6.3 seconds.
He got around the lap car of Bill Harkins. The only thing that's really going to be of concern to him is getting around these lap cars, especially as he gets more towards the faster ones and more towards the more confident cars. You know, will they let him by? Will they want to be a lap down? Just in case there's a caution, they're going to want to be on lead lap. Because if you are one lap down, or not the leader of the lap cars at least, you're probably going to have no chance of getting back. McQuiggan and Connor Gibson and Mark Allen Bivens side by side through the chicane. Somehow unscathed through there.
Yep, I think David Lakey is just behind them.
Yeah, 4 cars under a blanket. Brett Guzik still lapped down. Not going to have a chance there. Mark Allen Bivens looks inside of Connor Gibson. He's going to be able to do it this time. He clears.
Seems everybody's finally figuring out those tires there, not smacking into the wall. And even one lap here. Michaelis adds another 1.3 seconds. Overall lead. This is impeccable out there as he begins lap number 13. His 12th lap here tonight. Everybody's starting to smooth it out here just a little bit. Finally getting it. Boy, early entry.
Mark Allen Bivens misses the corner that time. Connor's going to have a little bit of a run on him down the front straightaway. Not going to be enough.
Now we're doing the 160. Awesome. Evans makes it. Connor Gibson makes it. David Lakey makes it. Doing previous versions of NASCAR that ran through those through any of that landscape there was penalized time. I think there's a little bit of a hold. Doesn't seem to be the case here. Look at those brakes. These are getting boiling hot out there. We'll see who has to come down. Remember, stage is at lap 18. We're going to put them all together and say, all right, gentlemen, you spread apart enough. Let's snatch each other back into turn number 1.
Well, you know what? They've had a lot of practice now. Everyone's getting the hang of it a lot better. Obviously, we're going to be on new tires again, so we're going to have some cold tires going into turns number 1 and 2 through the chicane. But still, everyone should have a little bit more of a grip of it next time by. But still, single file here. Connor Gibson cannot seem to get around Mark Allen Bivens. He's fast enough to keep up, but not fast enough to find a zone to pass. David Lakey stuck behind both of them. He feels he's much faster, but has nowhere to go.
These drivers got a lot of work to do. Find their groove. This is on top of Guzik, and Guzik in the 72 at it again.
Mason's going to be able to get around him and create fairly good gap there right away. Mason Flagar really fast through the chicane.
Yeah, we've joked about it a little bit that Curtis Yancey may be the arch nemesis of the Young Guns crew. But right now, I think Brett Guzik is looking to apply for his team. Every time the Young Guns guy comes up there's some contact between them for some reason, some way.
And not putting it on either side, it seems to be both parties putting the elbows out.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of room. Just hoping, like I said, there's going to be a critical point where somebody's going to receive a little more than they gave. We'll see how it goes. Here comes the last hairpin, and Guzik going to go ahead and make it on through.
Peter Murphy going to have a little bit of a run, but just no matter what you do, even if you cross over, you just can't seem to get a good run out of the corner. It's so tight on exit that, you know, right on the end of your wheel's limit to turn, that no matter where you really go through that corner, you get pretty much the same run off exit. So difficult to pass through there.
Extremely difficult. Oh boy. Checking my checklist here. I think Eddie Haggie's looped it.
Car looks a little broken, but it'll do.
Yeah, left front tire looks like it's sticking to the left, but there's no guarantee that's going to be in the straight ahead position. Here's what happens to Haggie. Says within a matter of 12 seconds, he crashes it 3 times. There's 1.
Oh no, through the plants.
There's 2. There's 3.
And back at it.
You almost feel the frustration here. You know he's mad.
Yeah, once you spin that first time, your rear tire is going to be very overheated.
We just lose Lakey. Up here. About a 2-second drop off. Bill Harkins again. Something's happened with the 11. Whoops. Boy, Patsy Steele, if you couldn't butcher that one anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say, you could do it, my son. Wow. You cab die it, my son. All right, let's take a look. See what happens to Lakey. Wow, does Lakey get in there? Yep, right there. 72.
And Brett Guzik gets around everybody. Obviously still lapped car, but having the time of his life out there.
When that happened, did Mason Flagar hit the opening spot of the run? As soon as they got going back straight, I think he hit the opening. I just didn't know if he got pushed into it. Watch right here. Oh, okay. He
No,
thought
I
about
think
pitting. Okay, I
yeah,
was like, what is
or that could have been he got a little loose on throttle just at a very bad spot and saved it. Oh,
That is Josh McQuiggan.
yeah, is he still our second place car?
Was, now fourth.
Falling apart just a little bit, but obviously with the stage break coming up, gonna have a chance back at it. Gonna put some fresh tires on there.
As much abuse as these tires are getting, you know.
Oh, Bill. Try to throw a slider on Eddie Hagee there in turn one.
All right, a couple more laps to go, or once they finish this last lap here. This is Zach and Kalis. Oddly enough, there for a moment, out of the 5 Canadians, four of them were in the top 5. Mark Allen Bivens has broken that as he sits 5th, and Nick Nickerson up 18 positions to sit 3rd. Nickerson's been just about flawless here as he continues to chug forward.
And Mark Allen Bivens is not about to let Canadians be in front of him. He's on a mission.
He is surrounded.
Yeah,
Gibson behind. He's all by himself. 8 seconds in front looking for McQuiggan, and only a second behind is our snap-on man here of Connor Gibson. There we go. I know Stella's out there watching. Joining us here tonight. So Connor Gibson's car. They were trying to make a joke about it. They say he tries to get everybody to go out there and sit in the car, but they swear it's not consensual once you get inside the car. So you'll see how the snap-on vehicle does out there as he sits 6th. Lap number 19 begins with Michaelis in that number 1 spot. Not too far behind, only about 5 seconds is Austin McGill. And Nick Dickerson able to get past McQuiggan for the 3rd place finish. That'll be good for some great stage points, seeing that Nick Nickerson has not been that great on his attendance here. Crazy enough, McQuiggan is off by 20 seconds. Looks like our top 3 were the only ones who had a chance of changing anything here in the podium positions. Unless somebody completely wrecked, but you know, Jackson, I don't know what I was expecting here. I mean, I think this is what I was expecting, but not quite like this.
What differences were you expecting? There's the caution flag.
Yep. Is what, how many people ended up going to the garage? How many people ended up totaling out? I mean, we had, Eddie Hagee got banged up. Brett Guzik got banged up. Honestly, I was expecting Brandon Jackson to do pretty well here tonight. I expected a top 10 out of him. He will have a 24th place finish. I mean, for one
Not
of our
good
top
for Brandon
points
Jackson.
guy, that's gonna destroy him here.
But Eddie Hagee, if his car is still drivable, he's going to be first. First car 1 lap down, so he's going to get that lucky dog. Be right back on lead lap.
All right, let's check back out there in the chat. Oh, yeah, there we go. Lockridge Motorsports, I didn't see him. He got locked in up out there. And I think you might have answered.
I may have.
Yeah, it should be open. I know Bandit Racing League's always looking for drivers out there. So if you were able to swing in 3 to 5 guys, they would be ecstatic. I think here in the next coming races will be some exciting ones that we have upcoming after we get through another 30 laps here at Long Beach. Finally catching the pace car. Most insane thing I've ever seen. Atlanta will be next week, and then following that, on June 25th, will be at Dover. That's going to be a fun one. Probably some Monster Mile, Atlanta. We'll have to find out. This should be the Super Speedway.
Atlanta's got a new name now. What's it called again?
I don't know.
Let's see here.
Atlanta's got a new name?
Yes, it does. Echo Park Speedway. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's not happening. It's been Atlanta.
It reminds me of where the Brewers play near me. It's always been Miller Park, which makes sense because they're the Brewers, and Miller Park. It just makes sense.
Right.
But American Family Insurance bought the sponsorship rights for the field, and so they want everyone to call it AmFam Field. No one calls it AmFam Field. That's still Miller Park. It'll always be Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I would say one that did change, Charlotte. It used to be Lowe's Motor Speedway, but now everybody calls it Charlotte. So, I mean, I guess it would take a lot of time, though.
But to be fair, a lot of people like calling it by the name of the city over some sort of corporate sponsor. And so it did have a corporate sponsor, but I believe that when it switched to just Charlotte Motor Speedway, I feel like more people liked that better, and we're perfectly okay with just calling it Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah. A few drivers did stay out. Looks like Nolan Gross is going to opt not to pit. He came in the lap 15. Might be a good call here if he can make it on fuel. This will get him out of the back of the field, and he'll be able to sit up front. Looks like the number one position. Oh my God! No, you're on a caution lap. No.
Nolan Gross, that is the wrong way.
All right. I'm going to mess with him here a little bit. I saw that.
We all saw that.
Every piece of that, Nolan. Every
I don't know what you're talking about.
piece of it. Back to Young Guns you go. Oh my gosh, I saw that. He's going to say, unbelievable. There's no time that camera's not on me.
He said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Part of me hopes he does it again.
Well, that's why I was a little confused, because I'm fairly certain Nolan Gross is supposed to be in the lead, but he's back there in fifth because he's slung by his turn on a pace lap. And you wouldn't think, but the pace car's only going 45 miles an hour.
But you gotta think,
25,
a lot of these corners are slower than that, and the pace car basically has unlimited grip. So the pace car goes around the corner as fast as it can, but everyone else still has to slow down for the corner. So it gets difficult when the pace car is going so fast, and you're in the lead, and you're not thinking about that the pace car doesn't have to slow down, but you do. You see how much the pace car got away there through the hairpin. They got to catch him back up to the front straightaway.
Yeah. I knew there was a toss-up of an idea that was thrown out there, is maybe when Barney throws the green flag that when the last person gets around the hairpin turn, they're going to allow him to get going again. The pace car lights are out, so they'll double stack them here. We have eliminated a few off our field. Pedro Leon is taking it back to the garage. Condis, Victor Weaver, Brandon Jackson, and Sean Britt was unable to take the wheel. So that should be 5 right off the bat. Bill Harkins remains in pit using that fast repair. And he is back in pit again. Trying to make sure I didn't see smoke coming off the front of his car. This guy's going again. Looks like everybody checking on our pit times. Did take tires. No one doubting any part about that. So you were talking about slick conditions. You're right. We're going to see them. They are out here in what, Funky's paint job. That was back on Jacob Malone's car. On Monday nights. Tune in on Saturday as well here at SimTraX Broadcast, as we'll be kicking it off with the NSR League. They will be running the iRacing Super Speedway in the 900 horsepower Gen 4 cars.
Wonderful.
I don't quite know. It's an open setup league too, Jackson. So that's the weird part. As I said, how do you determine your ride height? Because at the iRacing Super Speedway, it drops off into the turn, which almost jumps on the way out. So I don't quite know. I mean, the 87s are almost impossible trying to race them there, but I don't know. I don't know what Gen 4's at. It just seems like a mess.
Maybe it'll make it less of a mess. Maybe everyone will be spread out and see more of an old Daytona type race. Who knows? But we're about to go green here. Pace car pulls off. Everyone gets around that hairpin. We only got 3/4 of the field left, and we are green. Green flag is out. Nolan Gross leads us through the gears down the front straightaway. Nolan Gross is a little bit older tires than the rest of the field. I believe Michaelis might be on the same tires as him, pretty close. Right. Nick Nickerson, everyone locking it up into turn 1-3. Wide Michaelis into the outside wall. Gross back to the lead, side by side through the chicane. Michaelis with a little bit of a slow line, but Nolan Gross even slower on that high side. Single filing out. Now Nick Nickerson gets around Nolan Gross. The 10 car goes around McGill. He's going to be able to collect it back underneath him. Single file once again.
Boy, just for a second there, Austin McGill's crew chief jumped out of his chair, thought that he had launched it. Right now, it looks like the number 10 does hold it, smokes the tires through turn 1, makes it through the chicane, and has been hopping curbs ever since. So right now, the number 10 Ford, who was fast later in his run, right now is really trying to put a lot of pressure here on Nolan Gross and Mark Allen Bivens. They got around him pretty easy, though, as he had a little tumble up there himself. Nickerson has come down from 19 positions back, and he is fighting to get back up there. There's a little fumble right there by Mark Allen Bivens. To the back he goes. He now decides to fight back there with Josh McQuiggan, who oddly enough is down in one of his lowest positions here of the race. Those two going at it, and I think Michaelis should lead this lap as he squirts out and gets away. 3/4 of a second away from Nick Nickerson, but Nickerson's going to try to run him down as we remain here in the Michelin Chopper view.
Yeah, Nick Nickerson a little bit faster through that corner, gaining just a little bit of time through the chicane. Nick is always one to beat here at these road courses, especially at a street course. I'm not sure I've ever seen him at one, but still one of the fastest guys out here. Michaelis trying to hold him back. He's a little bit loose at a turn. I believe that's turn 6. So we now ride on board with Nick. Just a little bit more stable through these corners. He's running a little bit of a tighter line out of the corner. Give him a better entrance to this one. And a better exit as well. Nick Nickerson with a run. Not going to be able to do anything this time. Will he show inside? He's going to look, but he's not going to take it. Braking a little bit earlier than Michaelis. He's going to try to get him through the hairpin corner. Running a little bit wider in here so that he can run wider on the entry. Michaelis blocks the wide enter. He gets sideways.
That's what he was waiting for.
Nick Nickerson to the lead. That is exactly what he needed to happen. Michaelis saw that he was going to go high on the entry to the hairpin, so he tried to block, but that messed up his entry, which messed up his exit. Nick Nickerson, new leader here at I was almost going to say the Chicago street course, but we are at Long Beach.
I'm sorry. Here, Nick Nickerson starting all the way in the 21st position, coming all the way up, bringing that number 2 Big Red Propane Ford up to the number 1 position. Michaelis is going to drop down to second. but still within striking distance. He needs to figure out a different line or almost mimic his line here, as he is steadily losing time, almost a tenth per turn. He's down now 9/10, 1 second now. Michaelis has got to start scrambling here, or that number 2 is going to get a lot smaller. Let's move back here to Austin McGill, who sits third. He's already far enough out by 3.5 seconds off pace. Already had 4 drivers now ended up in trouble since the green flag. And the 04, everybody's favorite driver out there. And that's going to do it. Guzik is in some trouble. This moves him down to the 14th spot. Oddly enough, about 25 seconds ahead in front of Matt Crockett. Now I think Mark Allen Bivens is working his way out of pit. 31 seconds down there in the box. Right now, everybody out there is calling it. As soon as Nick took the lead, that's it. It's over. So we'll see. Let's take a look here at when we started this race. Oh! Who was that?
Mark Allen Bivens was coming out of pit road. I believe that was Josh McQuiggan that went into him.
Yeah, I'm
Not
trying to
sure.
see. Mark Allen Bivens has showed a full disconnect here. That's why I'm trying to find him. Josh McQuiggan crashed. I wonder if this is the one.
Yeah.
Bam.
Did not know he was going to be there. Just kept pushing him. And then he left. Ethan Sikorsky narrowly avoiding everyone and passing David Lakey on the outside through the chicane. Ethan Sikorsky not messing around.
Excellent job. All right, let's see what brings actually Mark Allen Bivens down to pit road in the first place. What had gotten him in any sort of trouble?
Nolan Gross.
Oh, in the 19.
McQuiggan.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, McQuiggan and Mark Allen Bivens have been hitting doors just about all day.
No, that doesn't look good. We'll take another angle at this. Not only during that time, Mason Flagar had a problem. I think this should be on the straightaway heading for turn number 1. Flagar trying to send it. Nope. Nope. Too hot. Bang. All right, let's check in. Lap 24, Kevin Foster. Oh, boy. Much of the same? Yep, he went straight. Foster tries to pinch it. Round he goes. Then we see exactly 34 seconds later, Brett Guzik. All right, and this is where we caught him. Round he goes. Bill Harkins. This is in a different spot. I think this should be a right turn.
Nope, left.
Oh, gosh.
And engine gone.
Un mas.
Yeah, Bill's out of it.
All right, so Josh McQuiggan, that's where the two of these guys got into it. Clink. Yeah, I think Bivens a little annoyed. As he said, you find me yet again. Let's see what happens to Guzik here. Tell me he didn't just call it. Yeah, he just called it.
Yeah, looks like he did.
I hate when people do that. I wish they'd go to pit, at least finish out the lap. All right, let's check in on Eddie Hagge. And as we're going through this montage, there's more. Did Hagge total out? No.
Yeah, this race is looking a little bit more like a crash compilation and less of a race. Yeah, he already had some right front and right rear damage. Just took him out finally, right there. No more fast repair for Eddie Hagge, I believe.
And hey, there's John Osborne. Haven't talked about him all night. 81 stalls it there. Tries to get it back around, and Mark Allen Bivens here just a little bit ago. Bivens a little too high. Oof. Good Lord. Horrible camera angles. Alright, let's try to get her back live here. I think everybody's pretty well separated. I think we're at least have Ethan 14. Currently in front of the Quicken, the 19.
Yeah, Ethan started up front in the top 5, looking to make his way back up there. He spun twice, but fairly clean all race today for him. Been involved in no drama.
Top 10 drivers separated by 31 seconds out here on the track. Hoping to see somebody come alive here and start running these guys down. Right now, Josh McQuiggan's looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, McQuiggan on the bumper of Ethan Sikorsky, just a little bit faster, looking for a way to get around him. Looks to the bumper, not going to make it there that time. He's going to try the hairpin. Goes a little bit wider. Looks for the crossover. Still nothing there.
See how much they have to crank that wheel. That's why I want to make sure we were inside on somebody.
Oh yeah, that's just about all of it.
And slow down about 25, 30 miles an hour. They gun it up to 170. That's just crazy. A lot of acceleration out of these guys here. Huge gear ratio change. Bill Harkins out there kind of laughing at it a little bit. It's his night. Has been scrubbed.
Connor Gibson with some damage on that left front. As both these cars start to gain just a little bit on Connor Gibson.
Cover that drone footage out there and see if I can get him. Right. Drone up. Yep. A little bit right there at the bumper. Look at that, man. I always wonder when you're a driver like Nickerson, you're out front, do you just hang out? Do you just slowly pick through? I mean, I'm fairly certain, I think when I first started with the Bandit Racing League, you guys were like, I think at almost Knox, Lime Rock, somewhere around there. And we took a ride along with Nick Nickerson, and he talked us through the race, how to get through them.
Yeah, Nick is usually very calm, especially when he's so far in the lead, especially on a road course where he feels home. Usually so much faster than all the other drivers at a road course. All the other drivers kind of put up a little bit of a fight today. You know, Michaelis, McGill, Gibson, Sikorsky, McQuiggan. Usually he doesn't have to deal with that. He just kind of starts on the pole and doesn't give up position at any point. So definitely a little bit different of circumstances today. But yeah, Nick, a lot of very calm, lots of patience on these road courses, and you know, really in a stock car, that's what you need. So always very good when it comes to turning right.
19 laps left to go as Nickerson finally crosses the line there to get his 31st lap started here tonight. A lot of drivers getting taken out and getting back up to speed. No caution other than our original stage caution there at lap number 18. Right now, race control doing a great job out there, knows exactly what he needs to do. As right now, Dalton Kilroe out there. Appreciate him joining here at the league and picking up the slack from Bradley Shin and Nicole Krazel. Awesome job they've been doing, guys. Don't forget to check back some of our previous replays out there with Bradley Shin. He does a ton of 3D printing. And Lady Chaos Racing. This Nicole Krazel. Something to look into. Awesome job here tonight. Long Beach has 100 miles these guys are going to be driving, 1.9 per lap. They continue to chug on through. We were checking on Peter Murphy. He had about 9/10 of a second before he was going to catch the old gross. Unfortunately, he has been slowing down. And it's fallen
Look at those tires now.
3 seconds, yeah. Out there. Blake currently holding 8th position. Out there, it's Patsy Steele who's taking a look. Man, look at Sikorsky.
Yeah, they finally caught up to Connor Gibson, both Sikorsky and McQuiggan. Now going to be a battle for 5th. Sikorsky looking to get back in that 5th spot where he feels he belongs. Down through the gears, entering turn number 1, staying in 2nd. Down to 1st for the chicane.
Wow.
Getting real close there. Have a lap car right in front of them. I believe that's John Osborne. John Osborne to the outside wall. Not going to mess anything up. Wait a minute. Didn't Sikorsky have McQuiggan right behind him?
Yeah,
Or
McQuiggan's
someone else?
actually down into pit road.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering if McQuiggan's. I wonder if they notice they're not going to make it on fuel. So he came in on lap number 32. Threw on 4 tires of fuel and gets back out there. This is Sikorsky taking a look here to the inside of Connor. Connor! Look out! Connor sideways.
Connor goes around. Ethan Sikorsky going to take 5th. David Lakey going to take 6th.
Well, that's going to be a nice little surprise. Come around the corner, be able to get another position. All right, that's going to do it for Connor. Down pit road, he's coming. Made it 33 to lap 33 for him. Now, we knew they could make it 18 laps there for the stage. So as long as they can get to this point here, everybody pit. Everybody should be able to make it to the end. No signs of slowing out there for Nick Nickerson. 4 seconds out front. Kind of reminds you of, man, when was that? 2008 when Usain Bolt slowed down. At the when he was marking himself as the fastest man in the world, throws his arms out and then slows down. I don't know what he was thinking, but that almost looks like what Nick Nickerson is doing here. Fastest on this course, but is not really picking up the pace, not really gaining any. Just kind of keeping a safe distance out there. We can grab him from the GFR team. I knew we've talked with Nick Nickerson. He didn't mind, but we'll go ahead and we'll poke him a little bit here and see what we've got to say. Nick, are we bothering you at all out there, buddy?
What's going on?
All right, I think we have done this before. We took a ride along with you out there at a different track about how to get going.
I believe it's Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
Maybe Mid-Ohio.
Oh, that's what it is.
Mid-Ohio. Okay, I knew it was another road course. How would you weigh this one to another?
I mean, this is probably one of the more challenging, just because it's everything is a lot of hard braking zones. Just trying to get it stopped and listening for the tires squealing, and it's a lot different. There's no real flow like there is at Mid-Ohio on purpose-built tracks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Thrown together with jersey walls out there. We notice
Exactly.
You're not putting on any more time. Man, you've come up 20 positions to get where you are now. Apparently qualifying, it didn't seem to matter. You were fast during practice, so I knew what this was about. But I just want to make sure you can make it through the chicane here. Okay. And everything, feels good out there, but you're not putting any more distance on Michaelis here. Are you conserving?
Not really. I mean, I'm just trying to keep it as steady as possible for when I have to come and pit. And now I'm wondering how many people are trying to make it to the end. Because I think I only need to save a couple laps. I mean, a couple laps is a lot, but I mean, I feel like maybe a guy or two could probably do it. I guess we'll find out.
I believe we've seen you do it before on road courses. I've always been confused on how you were able to make it to the end, and
yeah,
I
not
wasn't.
me.
So.
Not me, man. I'm
Not
terrible
you?
at fuel saving. Yeah.
Well, you're better than me, because I've always been confused on how you did it. But still, very fast up there. Usually when we talk to you, when you're leading in a road course, you're very calm, you're very focused. Usually looks like you're just real easy, but right now you seem like you're really giving it, trying to keep it under control. So might have to let you go here.
Yeah, I'm just wheeling this direct drive like crazy through these bumps. It's
oh, I see.
taking me up a little bit.
Yeah, seem a little bit out of breath.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Holy
All right, well, good luck out there. Try to hold your lead, and we'll leave you alone.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't expect to hear Nick Nickerson sound like he was struggling a little bit.
Wow.
So definitely not an easy track for anyone out here. Nick giving it as hard as he can. Michaelis now leading just a little bit. Can't help but think maybe we were the problem there on why he was leading or gaining so fast. Michaelis was last couple laps when we were talking to him.
Yeah, I was going to point that out. I hope that's not bad.
Lost a little over a second. Maybe a little under a second. But still, yeah, Nick, was even in times with Michaelis for a while, but now Nick on those tires seems to be a little bit slow. Michaelis evening out. Seems they're locking up the brakes every single time going through there. Just a little bit of smoke, both Nick and Michaelis. Both smoke coming out of the rear or left side wheels through that braking zone every time. Yeah, like you said, still going to have to pit one more time. The stage brake was not enough. They used up their one set of tires. Do you think they're going to come down and get another set of tires when they pit? Or do you think they're just going to get fuel?
That's going to be hard to say. I would probably assume everybody taking tires. It looks like Kevin Foster came down for fuel and go. 7.1 seconds there in the box.
Might be the play.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what Nickerson's thinking, throw in just enough. That's a long way down pit road and at 40 miles an hour for fuel and then try to get back out there. I would say if Nickerson had about a 16-second lead on top of these guys, it'd be a piece of cake.
So the real question is, does the track have more lefts or rights? You could put just one set of tires on there on the outside or the inside of the car. Save some time and still have a little bit more speed than everyone else. Track has more right turns.
Yeah.
So just put some right side tires on there, and sure, you'll be a little bit slower through some of the corners, but hell, you'll be real fast through the right turn corners. Now that we've stopped talking to Nick Nickerson, those times are starting to even out once again between Nick and Michaelis. Just now 1 second closer.
Well, I would really hate to see if I throw through this good dude's race. That would be really bad. Yikes. And I did notice somebody was saying something out there as well in one of my different leagues that they said the force feedback has changed out there for anybody out there in the, I think, Fanatec and Logitech world. The direct drives have gotten a serious upgrade that even you feel the RPMs in the wheel as you drive when it reaches top of the gear. A lot of guys are loving it, but the ones who have not turned their force feedback down, that like using it more like a controller than a steering wheel, are not having any problems. I'm wondering if Nickerson has, left it alone, and the force feedback is kicking his butt tonight because he hasn't had to make any modifications for feel for him. So if he's kind of doing it the way iRacing had intended it, this is going to be it may be the reason why he's having a rough race and his arm's starting to hurt.
Yeah, there's a chance Nick didn't even know that update was going to do that. I didn't know that update was going to do that. That's awesome. The next-gen car has been known for a while on iRacing to have almost just no force feedback, no feel in the wheel. Part of the reason why I've never been real good in it. I don't like to change my settings because that's all a bunch of buttons and settings stuff. I can't do all that, so I just leave it alone. But yeah, now that the car has a little bit more feel, especially over these bumps, and like you said, feeling the RPMs in the wheel, that's awesome. But definitely going to be a big change for these drivers.
Yeah. I would wonder if the RPMs, the higher they go, if it starts to loosen up the wheel. You know, just for any sort of wheel spin or the engine, you know, the car nose picking up at all. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. That's for sure. iRacing does not tries their best to leave no stone unturned. And they keep on going. Right now, Nickerson's still holding about that 3.3. Give it to Michaelis though for hanging in there. I still say Michaelis is within striking distance. One little fumble here by Nickerson, and he's on him. Normally, Nickerson's got this thing where he could, I think, only use even gears and still win it. Tough race. Looks like Ethan Sikorsky, the Crunchyroll machine, down in the pits. All right.
Ethan Sikorsky probably just getting fuel. He's been pretty clean this whole time. I don't think he really has any damage on that car or has had any damage on that car. Probably one of the only cars out in the field that I can really say that about. So good going for Ethan Sikorsky. Was in 5th, getting fuel now. Just has to stay clean to have a chance at holding that 5th position when everyone else pits. Only went down to 7th. Well, looks like he's 1 lap down. Maybe I'm wrong about something.
Currently McQuiggan here. I believe that is Nick Nickerson right behind him. Right now, I'm taking a look at the times. Might be separated. Ugh. It's going to be close, about 3.2 seconds. Nickerson's going to have him. Bivens is hoping he maybe does his worst. See if he can slow Nickerson down there. Nickerson starting to get a giant points jump out there on Bivens. All right, we'll go through our driver retirees tonight. Mark Allen Bivens making it to lap 28, down and out. John Osborne, lap 27, out. We are looking at Mason Flagar, who's our 17th place, currently sitting in pit for the last 23 and a half minutes. Trying to see if the bucking machine will return. Brett Guzik, 18th, made lap 25, down and out. Eddie Haggy, 19th place, lap 25. Bill Harkins, 21 minutes in the box. Currently sitting 20th. Pedro Leon has retired in 21st. Terry Condis retiring in 22nd. Victor Weaver retiring in 23rd. Make it to lap number 6, and Brandon Jackson finished by Sean Britt. That is a solid chunk of cars. I've only got the top 14 still mobile out there out of 25 drivers, so we've down 10. 2 in pits, 8 have taken it home. And from what I'm looking at here, the Ricky Hart, Matt Crockett. Yep, the rest of these guys are a bunch of laps down. Yeah, Mark Allen Bivens. Yep, so we have Matt Crockett, Ricky Hart, Michael Ramos, Kevin Foster, Nolan Gross, David Lakey, Connor Gibson, and Ethan Sikorsky are a lap down. Checking here, looks like Peter Murphy heading down pit. That puts him a lap down now. I think a couple more guys end up going some laps down.
Marshall Crocker Jr. in 3rd down pit road.
Yep. Hard to find your pit out there. still looking at our timing. I think that's now going to put our top 5 on the lead lap. Quiggins still been able to outrun him, though. Yeah, he has. It's getting closer, though. Yikes. 2 seconds. All right. Tons of work left here to go. We are currently sitting with about 7 laps to go here at the line. And we will, we are going to cut to commercial real quick, get a shout out from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Don't forget, guys, check out Jim Auto Works.
LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging in there. We got a shout out from our sponsors. We come in back just in time as Nick Nickerson and Zach Michaelis are coming down pit simultaneously. Who's going to take tires? Who's only going to take fuel? They could end up determining the race finish here. Right now, as Michaelis goes in, slings on past, still has yet to enter his box. Nickerson, 8 seconds in the box, 10 seconds in the box. We're taking tires. 2 tires, that is 11:72. Zach Michaelis with 5 seconds, he's back out. So a couple seconds.
Michaelis.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Michaelis. Only taking fuel then?
Yes.
And then Nick, you said took 2 tires. I'm gonna guess he took those right side tires.
Boy, gutsy move here. Michaelis hoping he can stick it out here to the end. Nick Nickerson taking much longer, another 6 seconds in the box. 6.5 to be exact right now, and now he's got to try to run down the amount of distance that Michaelis had on him.
An extra 6 seconds in the box with these single lug wheels. That means he could have all 4 tires change.
Yeah, it's possible. 11:72 down there in the box. 5.22 for Zach Michaelis. Marshall Crocker was only down in the box for 5 seconds, almost 5 seconds even. McQuiggan should be 4 tires with a 14.77. Austin McGill fixing a little bit of damage at 21 seconds in the box. Yikes.
Yeah, there's either he took 2 tires or just an insanely good pit stop for Nick Nickerson. I'm not sure. But he is gaining quick.
Oh.
Michaelis back down pit road.
Did he speed out?
Oh, there's a possibility of that.
Bro. Dude. That would be
Michaelis.
absolutely terrible.
Now out of it. Nickerson 13, almost 14 seconds ahead of your second place car, Marshall Crocker Jr.
Taking a look
Yeah,
here.
seems to be serving a penalty.
Yep. Taking a look at how much time, 15 seconds. Yeah, this may be a 30-second hold. Looks like Bill's back there barbecuing. Yep, he's not going to forgive me for that one. So Nick Nickerson leading out front, followed by 5 Canadians. Marshall Crocker, Austin McGill, Josh McGill, Zach Michaelis, and Connor Gibson.
Wow.
2 through 6. And the top 4
Nick.
are all Fords.
Nick doing it for the Americans. Yeah, you can tell that car is very loose out of that hairpin corner.
Just keeping an eye here on Nick Nickerson. See how that car is feeling for him. Say the way he's been running, everything's even on there on his tires out there. But if he only took 2, now it's going to be a little bit offset. We're going to be turning a little better one way than the other. 14.5-second lead over top of Crocker here. This is going to be a breath of fresh air and kind of a piece of cake here for him. Looks like Ethan's, of course, getting pretty close out there to Connor Gibson. Only about 1.5 seconds behind. Where's Nolan Gross? Gross looking to put some pressure on David Lakey here for the 8th position. Yes, he is. Here it comes.
He's looking for it.
See if he gives him a shove here, Jackson.
Nolan Gross usually isn't the one to do that, but who knows? Drafting down the front straightaway. Yeah, 2 laps.
Yeah, these would be our closest guys here. Right now only separated by less than 0.5 second. As they bob back and forth, Gross sends it.
Yeah, big send into the chicane, all the way left, right wheels in the grass, very sideways out of the chicane. Didn't lose too much time, though.
I think that's the worst part about a road course, when you get out there and you think you're starting to get a groove on somebody. And all of a sudden your car decides to wiggle just a little bit. How much time it actually takes away from trying to run somebody else down here. All right, Greg Smith out there rooting it. Trying to hold on to the 8th position.
He looks inside. He's going to make it stick side by side of the corner. Nolan Gross clears.
Tough move here. Watch for Lakey to re-attack. Ooh.
Oh! Did not affect Nolan Gross one bit. White flag. This time by for Nick Nickerson. Right behind these two.
All right. Last lap here brought to you by Apex Sim Racing. Guys, don't forget to head to Apex Sim Racing out there for all your sim racing needs. Rig, pedals, shifters, and steering wheels. Don't forget, you can head there. Don't forget to use the code word BANDIT, and then it goes ahead and chucks a little bit of sponsorship money our way here for the league. Not here for the broadcast, for the league, and that benefits these guys here. So don't forget to go ahead and check that out right now. Nick Nickerson, untouchable. 14 and a half seconds as he catches up very closely to start putting a couple more guys a lap down. Lakey is panicking. Like to make sure he stays onto the lead lap here. But Nick Nickerson is right behind him. Let's see if he can use his Ford to get around his Camaro.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for David Lakey, Nick really has no reason to pass him, no reason to get aggressive here. He just needs to get through these last 3 corners. Then he's a winner here at Long Beach.
Yep. Then we'll be able to counter our change and smoke a cigarette, and we'll find Marshall Crocker there in the back. And we're not knocking Marshall Crocker or Austin McGill, but man, when you're 36 seconds separated, 36 and a half seconds separated on our podium finishers, that's something. So there's Nickerson across the line, and most people out there in the chat saying, "Yep, well, that was pretty much expected out of there from the number 2
I would say so.
That's fine, Marshall Crocker. Here he is. Across the line, awesome job, and then we're going to try to see if we can find Austin McGill. Still working on the hairpin turn. Kevin Foster gets a little more camera time here. It looks like Kevin Foster will be finishing down here in the 11th spot. Was unable to get up there and catch Peter Murphy. Alrighty, Austin McGill locks her down. Awesome job here tonight. Wow. Nickerson being able to come from all the way back, the 21st spot, to knock down that number 1. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Next week, we should be at Atlanta. Or what do you call it? Echo Sports Park?
Echo Park Speedway. Something like that.
I'm just not feeling that. Ugh. I hope it's not like that in iRacing. That would be a bummer.
Well, it is.
No.
Yep.
No burnouts here for Nick Nickerson. And here are our unofficial results. It looks like, I believe, the 28 machine is still rocking out there, trying to get down another lap. We can finish this off for Ricky Hart in the Advanced Auto Parts. Not bad out there. All right, finishing in 21st will be Pedro Leon, and all the way to 25th we'll run through it. So Pedro Leon 21st, Terry Condis 22nd, Victor Weaver 23rd, Brandon Jackson finishing out on the 24th spot, and Sean Britt not taking the wheel here tonight. Hate to see he gets locked and loaded, maybe not getting a qualifying time and throws in the towel before you even start. Definitely jams up my tower, but that's all right. We'll go ahead and get to it. All right, we are going to cut back to commercial here. I know, groan, woosah. It's all right, guys. We'll be back. We'll be right back, and we're going to go ahead and talk to our guys here finishing the race, and we'll be quick.
LAT Racing Oils is invested in winning. With industry-leading at-track support, superior engineering, blending technology, and the World Championships to prove it, LAT is your premier choice for racing lubricants. Used by NHRA Pro Mod champions Jose Gonzalez and Chris Thorne, along with their closest competitors, LAT Racing Oil continues to carry top-level racers to the winner's circle in all categories of competition. From engine oil to transmission fluid and gear oil, LAT has you covered from end to end in your race car. A nationwide dealer network means easy access to our products as well. Visit LATRacingOils.com for more.
All right, everybody. Second place finisher here tonight, Marshall Crocker. Well, Marshall, we take a little bit of a look at this race. 15-second gap between you and Nick Nickerson. There was a lot of racing out there between Michaelis, McQuiggan. I mean, we had a ton of names up there in the top 5. But how do we survive through the beginning of this race? Obviously, qualifying time had to be your success.
Well, I'm not the guy to ask because I didn't. My race was, we were joking about Nick pre-race when he had his qualifying issues start from the back that he was doing the YouTube last to first challenge. And I was saying to him just a second ago, we basically ran the same race. He just got to start his last to first challenge a few laps earlier than mine. I had Josh McQuiggan go, while he was leading, go around in front of me. And stuff like that's one of those things where you want to be annoyed. You want to kind of put it on a specific guy for making the mistake that, not just for me, but anybody in the field. But the reality is we all know how tough this track is in these cars. It's just so difficult to keep it under you. Fresh tires are cold. Later on the run, they're just dead. So you're not really annoyed. Glad McQuiggan recovered as well. 4 Canadians in the top 5 is pretty cool. But no, I didn't survive, so I don't know. I know Nick, I think, had a little bit of his troubles, but honestly, I really think with how much I caught up in that last stint, I think in net race time, minus that incident, I may have had something for him in this one, but, you can only say so much, and in the end, being 24th on lap 4 to come back to second is it's surviving enough for me.
Boy, tough race, though. Everybody shifting back and forth. Next week, we head to
whatever it's called.
Echo Park Speedway.
Echo Park Speed. Okay, how do you like Atlanta?
Well, funny enough, my results and my personal opinion don't really match up. I enjoy Atlanta on paper. Some of the greatest races of all time. It's not what I think I should be good at. I've gotten a little bit better at the mile and a half, but that's a lot of guys' bread and butter. And typically in this series, what guys like, I don't. What guys don't like today, I'm quite profound in. So I don't know. I finished second there, runner up last year in a very weird race where. It may just be the car. There was something weird with setups that I think went down, but I did get runner-up last year, so maybe Atlanta's my turnaround. Maybe Atlanta is good for me. Maybe Echo Park isn't. I don't know. We'll see what the rebrand has in store, but I'm just enjoying being back. I'm really just trying to do my best to recover to a playoff points position, and in Atlanta, if it's one I did well in last year, we can only hope, and to be honest, I'm the only guy in the series, but I'm just going to be counting the weeks till Chicago Road Course, back when I can guarantee I'm going to be relevant again.
All right, Marshall. Shout out time, dude.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, whoever's watching, not sure who's out there tonight, but thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Rogue Energy. It's actually sponsored as an affiliate for a number of series, including this one. So Rogue Energy, you can use code Crocker for 10% off your purchase if you feel like supporting your boy out there. It's good stuff, good ingredients. And finally, shout out to BC SimSport. My dad has left the series. He won't be joining. Maybe back up in the spotters before me. But joining on with Brett and Eddie and a bunch of the guys, Chris Ferrara. Going to be with BC SimSport the rest of the year, and glad I could bring the new team home second place. Even if there wasn't much setup sharing, we were more of a team and heart more than head. So that's all. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Jackson. You're absolutely killing it. My family, everybody that watches, only gives great feedback for you guys, and just want to make sure you guys know that. And thank you for sitting through what was, I'd imagine, a pretty up and down night, probably a tough one to broadcast.
Tough to find you guys. You guys were everywhere.
I bet.
Cool. All right, Marshall. Appreciate you, buddy, and hopefully we'll see how you do over there at Atlanta.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully talking to you next week. And again, Chicago Road Course. Circle me on the map again. Nick, you got one coming to you. I'm tired of finishing second to that guy.
All right. So August 6th Yeah, it's got some time. You better start going practicing now. He's going to be looking for you. Good luck, Marshall. All right, that moves the Marshall there to their second place finisher. Austin McGill already has taken it back to the trailer. He's not I don't know if he's really agitated right now. Currently, he almost did a back to front finish there as well. Austin McGill started back in 23rd and finished third, but starting in 21st was Nick Nickerson, and he sits in the number one spot. And everyone's saying, well, this is kind of what we expected out there. Nick, the question, you shooting up to the front, avoiding a lot of wrecks, I would say when Michaelis had a pit stop issue, did that save your race?
Yeah, it absolutely did. I backed my way into this win because I thought I had my tires turned off, and then I thought I did that during the middle of the stint, and then when I checked my tires when I got to pit lane, they were checked on, and I'm sitting there fumbling with my funky switch trying to turn them off, and I'm changing pages when I'm trying to click it off and like turning on and off, and I couldn't get it until I stopped because obviously since I started in the back of the pack, my pit lane came up pretty quickly, and so I had to stop to turn the tires off, and then I ended up actually leaving only one set of tires on accident from fumbling around. So it was a disaster, man, and I pretty much called it there. But to my fortune of luck, Zach got a speeding penalty, and that's the only thing that saved me.
Wow. Yeah, well, the 3-second lead you held for 15 to 20 laps, he hung in there. He did not. It wasn't quite the separation we thought. And Jackson was even noting out there, you sounded a little out of breath there over the radio.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was I should have probably turned my force feedback down because I was wheeling the hell out of this thing in some of those corners. Because I think actually my shoulder was starting to cramp up a little bit because I'm sitting there sawing this thing so much. But normally on the road courses, I don't have this issue. It's just for this track is just so bumpy apparently that it was quite the workout.
Also,
But
a new update for the force feedback of this car that added a lot more force feedback. So that also could have been a big part of it.
that could be it. We'll see the next time I run one of these cars and see if I get the same thing. But yeah, it was a workout. It was a couple points there. I was sitting there like purposely breathing, trying to get some oxygen because I was kind of holding my breath through some of those sections. It was stupid. But yeah, man, that was quite the race. 50 laps here. Don't want to do that for a while.
All right. Well, Marshall Crocker's calling you out for out there on August 6th, I believe, for the Chicago Street Course. He said he's tired of being second fiddle, so he's going to be looking to run you down on that one. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit closer than August. Next week we're at Atlanta. Possibility of maybe seeing the big propane Ford out there?
Yeah, I should be around next Wednesday. We'll see how that race goes. Now we got this new physics package with this car. Who knows how this thing's going to handle? Hopefully, we'll have a little bit off throttle time, but I doubt it. Or I forget if we're running the old or new Atlanta. If it's the old one.
Believe it's the new one.
New one, yeah. I mean, I can't even really guess what's going to happen there. That's pretty much pack racing. So.
And I think you hate that.
I do. I like to have tracks that have a little bit of brake pedal in it.
Ah, okay. Well, it definitely got your fill here tonight. Tons of things changing. Normally, it shows the rotors being only red, but we got guys getting them glowing yellow as we're taking a slow-mo video of you now looking at you burning them up heading into the following turn. So, Nick, congratulations on your win here, buddy. Go and give me a shout-out while I got you here.
Yeah, man. Well, first off, for Zach, Austin, and Josh, man, the guys were killing it. It's good to have some good competition in here, and obviously Matt Crocker too. He was doing pretty good there. And everybody that participates, man, this league has so far started off pretty dang well, and looking forward to the rest of it. And other than that, just good old Big Red VIP, IES Industrial, Advanced Auto Parts, and appreciate you guys putting on the broadcast. And Jackson, you're doing a hell of a job.
Thank you.
Awesome, Nick. Next week, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll see you next week.
Oh, yeah. All right, Nick Nickerson, he's got to get back to it and start doing the admin thing. What a race this was here all the way to the end. Nickerson, Crocker, McGill, 1, 2, and 3. all these guys moved up almost 20 positions. Crocker started showing third, but I think he was trying it as well. But really, what a wild race here. I mean, a couple of guys, wrecking out. We had a couple montages there of guys getting kind of cooked, and hopefully we won't see that kind of thing in Atlanta. Pack racing, what we're gonna see. We're gonna see 3 wide, fresh pavement. I think it's gonna be a blast. Seeing that a lot of changes have been made out there, not only to the next gens, but a lot of the Gen 4s as well. Jackson, anything left to add here, buddy?
Not sure I have much. We saw a lot of wrecking today. Very difficult track, but next week, obviously, a very easy track, full throttle the entire way around. That'll just come down to how the drivers race each other. So, definitely going to see a lot of teamwork and a lot of maybe some anger from this race moving on to the next race. So, we'll see. But definitely going to be the biggest contrast of types of racing as we go from Long Beach to Atlanta. That's going to be very exciting to see what kind of different drivers pull out front. So very excited to see that, and I'm very excited to be back in the booth next week.
Awesome. I love the way you say that. Back in the booth next week. All right, man. Appreciate you joining me here tonight, Jackson. All right, everybody out there in the chat. Stella, Bill Harkins, I even see Zach McHale saying he can't believe that was a speeding penalty. Kelly Queel, Miss Guzik, Robin Allen, you guys joining us out here tonight. Appreciate you hanging in there for a road course. It's going to be super fast next week at Atlanta Super Speedway. But until then, we will see you next Wednesday for the Bandit Racing League and NSR and the National Race Association, Saturday and Monday. But until then, be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see you at the next race.